Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Somnath Kakade versus Haridas Vatkar. I have both of them laying around here, and I'm just going to kind of give you a walkthrough on which I recommend for a beginner and which I recommend for those that are more advanced. Now, before I get to that, there's a link in the description to a Skool community. We're offering something next year that's very limited, and I really stress very limited. It's a $5,000 a year program, but it has almost daily classes with a world-class expert. Now, these classes are about 10 to 15 minutes long. They're bite-sized. Let's be honest, most people don't really have the attention span for a 1-hour class. And the thing I like the best, and I sincerely mean this, is that there's no more a beginner learning for an hour, practicing it wrong the whole week, and then we have to relearn it. No, you get guidance every day and you make progress. And you don't even have to practice too much outside of class if you're just starting out. So if that sounds like you don't want to waste time, click the link in the description because we're the only people offering this right now. Now, let me make this very simple. For a beginner, you should start with Somnath Kakade because the skin is thinner. It's very simple. Somnath Kakade, the skin is thinner. Haridas Vatkar, the skin is just a bit thicker. So I'm going to show you now what a Somnath Kakade tabla is like. So this is one thing I don't like that tabla makers do. If you're less well known, they don't really put in their full effort. So when I was not really making YouTube videos, this is what Somnath Kakade sent me. So pretty good, not bad, but it did start to buzz pretty quickly. And this is the first thing I want to make clear is that basically you need someone to do the communication to the tabla maker. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that you shouldn't communicate directly with the tabla maker. For my students, I talk with Somnath Kakade and I make sure it's quality. If you're not well known, you may not get the best product. So this is before I was, uploading YouTube videos. Then he saw that I did a review on that tabla, and the next one, I feel like he put in more effort in. So check this out. Now, this is probably the most resonant tabla I've ever bought. Not only that, he got it to me in 2 weeks. And I've recommended this pitch, C sharp D, although this is a bit higher than D, to most students that are just starting out. And they have done really well with it. They get good feedback on the na, even though they're not playing it really well. They get some sound. Whereas on a beginner tabla, it's really hard to get a nice clean sound that will inspire you to play. So that's why I recommend if you're starting out, start with Somnath Kakade. Now, let's say you've now been playing for a few years, let's say 5 years. You probably have developed some weight on the terikite and the dhere dhere. Then I recommend switching to Haridas Vatkar because his skin is a little bit thicker. So let me now show that. So this is Haridas Vatkar. This is not the best example. This is really old, almost 8-9 years old. It's kind of cracking and things like that. But I love the closed sound of the terikita you get with this. So things like that sound really good. When you have weight in your hand, everything you play really pops with a Haridas Vatkar tabla. Now, the last point I'll make is that I know there are other people in these families that are making it. For example, Somnath Kakade, I believe someone in his family is named Bharat Kakade. That's also making tablas. I don't really know much about how they're making it. I've only dealt with the main people in the family. So that would be Somnath Kakade. And then in the Vatkar family, I have only dealt with Haridas Vatkar himself. I believe his son is making tablas. So this is really what I can give feedback on. So hopefully that's been useful on where to start with. And they both cost around $600, which for people joining my program isn't too much of an expense. I can understand if you're from another country, maybe it is, but they both are evenly priced, and that's my recommendation on which you should start with. Thank you.